turning over. Thank you.
I think, for example, with that song, I think we took like a string, some old strings from our old albums, and recycled that somehow. I don't know, like we had like this really cool program where you slow things down, like a small, like maybe a few seconds clip that makes it into like 10 minutes or something. So it's like extreme slow downer. And I think we took that and made some kind of a loop out of that, and I think that's the basic of like a and then we of course recorded more stuff on top of that. But when he gave it to Alex to work on, I think it was kind of rough and in a bad shape, confusing arrangement, and I think he focused it a little bit, and then we added a lot of stuff like drums, and Gogi played the bass and I sang again and stuff like that.
What was the hardest to get right? No. Why that was? It didn't feel like it was ready until just the very end. And yeah, we were saved by some new equipment. I think we had some new stuff to play around with and kind of made it right.
We had this small new toy. It's fun with this. There's a lot of maybe more experimentation and not fiddling like the other albums, more than the other two previous albums. So I mean, like when you get new toys and new gadgets to play with, and we had like this small keyboard now called the OP1, and then we were kind of sampling stuff from the song, from the speakers, and playing and slowing it down. And I think that's the one, that's the intro and the outro of that song. I think that song started when we got the vinyl of Smáskífa, the bracket Smáskífa, and we got a vinyl from that, and have this record player that you can like play really slow, like slow things down and play backwards and stuff like that. So we heard it backwards, the Smáskífa outtake, and then it sounded really good. So this is kind of based on that, the song.
Yeah.
And then we added like a new part to it, and then Alex told me to write proper lyrics and sing on it properly. I wasn't gonna do it, but so I think I'm really happy with that song. I think it turned out really good, and we got Amina in one weekend to play over the whole album. They kind of jammed through it and kind of told them what to do, and more like this and more like that. And it was good.
Usually we work really hard on a record for a year or 1.5 years, maybe 2 years even, and it's usually quite intensive work, intense work. But this one was obviously done for a long, it was a long period, and loads of distance in between sessions, and more of playing around with the ideas, in the studio, in front of the computer, more than much more than the others, which are more jammed. The songs are created like that, the band jamming together. And
yeah, I like Ækimók. I think it's one of my favorite on the album. I'm a sucker for this warm, crackly sounds.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
It makes you feel instant like coziness and fireplace, and I like all that stuff. It's the same as probably the reason why I listen to so much old music, just because of the recordings. The recordings are so nice and characteristic, even though today's standard they're kind of bad. So it makes you feel good.
I think this is a record that people definitely have to have patience. It's not sort of the thing I hope it's one of those records that you have to listen to 5-6 times until you realize what you listen to. That's for me, that's always the best records. So I kind of hope it's going to be like that.
We were asked if we wanted to have a song in a film. It's called Let the Right One In. It's a remake of Let the Right One In, Swedish. And yeah, we all liked the original version, so we went for it and made a song, recorded it, and then they couldn't use it because of something. Money, yeah. But we really liked it.
It's a big string section. Well, it's big. It's 8 people, and we always felt that there should be like we weren't sure if it was like a boys' choir or a children's choir in general, or what it was, what we wanted. But we felt like there should be some kind of eerie, spooky voices on there as well. And we didn't know if any children's choirs, couldn't find one. But then we thought, well, there's my daughter's school, well, the school she used to go to, she's gone to a bigger school now. They have quite a good sort of music department. They always have choirs, and they play a lot of marimbas, and there's lots of music going on in that school. And we thought, well, we should just talk to her, and ask her to get some of her friends together, and just, there was nothing written down for them. We just told them, like, you just sing in that key, and Jónsi just sang a bit for them, and then, they just did their own thing. And it was my oldest daughter and what was it, 6 or 7 of her friends. Just and we paid them after the session with pizzas. We were actually taking some of the pop songs and just deconstructing them, and taking bits and pieces out of them and adding other elements, and kind of reworking them into more sort of well, not I wouldn't say ambient, but more sort of low-key music.
I think that maybe that was the most hardest song to get together. I think also that the song maybe worked most on, or like it was hardest to get right, I think. And yeah, I listened to it on the airplane. I kind of liked it now. I like it now, actually.
Yeah, and Römpenhútur was totally different then. It was kind of more poppy.
I liked it more than when we were working on it, actually, for some reason.
Döðalög, for example, being one which we talked about being it's kind of a song about, if you translate the lyrics kind of literally, we're talking about how it is when you can be in a excuse me, in maybe walk up a mountain or something in Iceland, and there's nothing there. It's completely barren. There might be no wind or anything, and the only thing you can hear, the only thing you can hear is like your heartbeat in your ear. And even though you have this endless landscape and wilderness, the only thing that's happening is actually in your head.
We started with 2 songs, the G song and loop song, which have other names now. And yeah, we kept that songs for a while, and then we had some crazy idea to do a choir album, to record this Bulgarian choirs and the 16 choirs, and do some. And it's funny, the Döðalög, the choir part, the 16 choir, we went to Air Studios to record it, and it's 16 choir, really good choir, and we, it was so really good recordings, and a lot really expensive recordings, and but we ended up, recording it through a dictaphone, just from the speakers, and in Jónsi and Alex studio, and it sounded more natural. That's what we used on the album.
We had these two songs, Dauðalokni var eldur. We wanted to have a choir and chose the 16 because they're such a great choir and they work with us on Raven Magic. When we were recording Tapi, we did actually think about doing a double album at that time, I think. And those two tracks, yeah, there was even an idea to have that on, to release Tak as a double album and having those two tracks on that. And that's kind of the start. And then we were thinking of having this second album being kind of a quiet, slow and mellow album.
This is one of my favorite. It's kind of like this. Yeah, valtari means roller or like a steam roller, and it's kind of this big machine or something that slowly rolls over you and kills you, like slowly. But I like that. It's been a working title for a long time on a song, so I'm kind of starting to like that name.
It's such a strange song. It comes from nowhere. I guess the reason why we ended up calling that valtari is that it kind of just rolls on, and you never know where it's going, but it just continues through whatever. And like you say, it probably has the least sort of typical structure for music.
I kind of like the eeriness of it. It's quite eerie, and you kind of don't know why. And Gogi plays his bells or the glockenspiel, and it sounds quite kind of fucked up. And we put it through some effects, so it sounds kind of wobbly and kind of like weird. And it's, I like the eeriness of it, even if it's somehow quite beautiful, but it's kind of eerie at the same time.
For pianos, it's a few piano. Probably, I would say the most unusual song on the record. We tried something that we'd never tried before when we wrote it. That song is very much just as we recorded it. There's not much done to it. We had a bit of music, like a loop that we all really liked. And we didn't know where to go with it because it was quite short. There wasn't much going on in that thing, but it was just something about it, the sound of it, that we liked. So what we did was just as an experiment. This is one of the fun elements, in the record. We decided to go down into the recording studio, and everyone like one at a time, and everyone else had to leave, like go out and sit in the car, so they couldn't hear what the other person was doing. And we all ended up just listening to the loop in the headphones and playing the piano, just what we felt the song was doing, and then swapping, and no one could hear what the other one had recorded. So we all did basically 4 different things, and then we played them all together. That's pretty much what came out of it. Even though we did sort of mix it a bit, we said like, okay, this thing comes in first, and then we add this element, but still, it's basically what it is.